at school committed suicide. It comes as the CDC data reveals 57% of high school girls experience persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness, the highest level reported over the past decade, and nearly doubled compared to boys. Two Florida moms from the group Freedom Works Fast, Quisha King and Laura Zorc, join us now. Thank you so much for joining us. This is such an important topic, and boy, was that heartbreaking hearing that dad, and it's so wonderful that in his pain, he's still reaching out and saying, I want to help other kids. What do you think is behind this, Quisha? You brought up an interesting point that you thought that a lot of the narcissism and sort of the me that the culture and social media is feeding might be playing into why our girls are so sad.
Absolutely. They are surrounded and inundated with messages that don't really support who they naturally are. They have, their little girls trying to grow up, and then there's biological boys who are going into their bathrooms, invading their spaces. They're being inundated with ideas that don't affirm really who they are. They're saying, no, who you really truly are, that's not really good enough. And I believe that the public school system is the hub for all this harm is happening to our little girls.
Yeah, it is a hub, but there's also social media. And, my children go to a school where there are no phones allowed in the school. And I just think that break, 8-hour break from the phone, from all, where a lot of that bullying is happening, is part of, perhaps could be part of the solution, Laura?
Well, we definitely are seeing a huge problem on social media, and I'm going to tell you that schools need to implement policies on these phones, having phones in schools, because what we're seeing are the bullies are pulling out their phones, and like we saw in this situation with the New Jersey student, that they actually videoed that and then they posted it. Yeah. And so that made the bullying linger.
It re-victimized her in so many ways and in a permanent way, right?
So the school districts are inconsistent with their policies on bullying, and I think we could do better.
Yeah. How much, COVID we had that lockdown, we saw a jump in kids on social media, obviously, because they were isolated and trying to find some sort of connection. And we almost encouraged them to have more screen time.
We absolutely did, and I am so grateful for Governor DeSantis for getting kids back in school as soon as he did, because I think we would see a lot more of this uptick in Florida as well. And not saying that it's not happening there, it certainly is, and we need to pay more attention, but policy is very important. That's why we need to promote better school board members, better superintendents.
Policy is important, Quisha, but what is the role of parents? Because at one point, we are parents and we're handing something over a phone, over to our children, when we know they are not psychologically ready to deal with everything that is happening on that phone.
Yeah.
Well, I do think that phones are a problem, but what we're seeing here, a lot of this these kids are being victimized in their schools.
That's true.
And we have to stop that. And the way that we stop that is we implement smart policy. And that means we have to get the right school board members elected on the local level, because we're seeing on a national, across the board, these issues happening. We know social and emotional learning is not working. Critical race theory is putting our kids against each other. So our school districts are teaching hate. Our kids are coming to school angry, and now we're surprised that our girls are being victimized by bullies. And so we really need to look at the policies that the school districts are implementing.
Yeah, I think you guys bring up a really fair point. Parenting is one point, but policy is also important. Quisha, Laura, thank you for joining us on such an important topic, the mental health of our children, especially our daughters, who are expressing so many mental health issues at a rate we've never seen before. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.